Microsoft server hack impacts over 100 organizations globally. A massive cyber espionage operation targeting Microsoft server software has compromised around 100 organizations, according to researchers. This alarming breach highlights the ever-evolving threat landscape in the digital world, leaving many questioning the safety of their own systems. But here's where it gets controversial. Some experts believe that the true extent of the damage might be even greater than reported. The majority of the affected organizations are located in the United States and Germany, including several government bodies, as reported by the Shadowserver Foundation. The attack exploits a previously unknown vulnerability in SharePoint software, a platform widely used by businesses and governments for document sharing and collaboration. This type of vulnerability, known as a zero-day, is particularly dangerous because it allows attackers to infiltrate systems without prior knowledge or defenses against it. And this is the part most people miss. The hackers have not only gained access to these systems but may have also installed backdoors, ensuring they can return at any time. Visha Bernard, the chief hacker at Eye Security, a Dutch cybersecurity firm, discovered the campaign while investigating an incident for one of their clients. An internet scan conducted in collaboration with the Shadowserver Foundation revealed nearly 100 victims, and this was before the hacking technique became widely known. It's unambiguous, Bernard stated. Who knows what other adversaries have done since to place other backdoors? The identities of the affected organizations remain confidential, with relevant national authorities being notified. The Shadowserver Foundation confirmed the 100 victim figure and noted that the majority were in the US and Germany, including government entities. Rafe Pilling, Director of Threat Intelligence at Sophos, a British cybersecurity firm, warned that the situation could escalate. It's possible that this will quickly change, Pilling said, emphasizing the dynamic nature of cyber threats. Microsoft has responded by issuing security updates and urging customers to install them immediately. The identity of the hackers remains unclear, but the FBI has acknowledged awareness of the attacks and is collaborating with federal and private sector partners. Britain's National Cybersecurity Centre, NCSC, also confirmed awareness of the situation, noting a limited number of targets in the UK. Initially, the campaign seemed to focus on government-related organisations, but the potential pool of targets is vast. According to data from Shodan, a search engine for internet-connected devices, over 8,000 servers could be at risk, including major industrial firms, banks, auditors, healthcare companies, and various government entities. Daniel Card of PWN Defend, a British cybersecurity consultancy, highlighted the global impact of the SharePoint incident. Taking an assumed breach approach is wise, and it's also important to understand that just applying the patch isn't all that is required here, Card advised. So, what do you think? Is the current response adequate, or do we need a more aggressive approach to combat these sophisticated cyber threats? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Alert: Microsoft SharePoint under active exploitation. What you need to know. In a startling revelation, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, part of the Department of Homeland Security, has issued a warning regarding a significant vulnerability in Microsoft SharePoint that is currently being actively exploited. This alarming situation has raised concerns about unauthorized access to on-premise SharePoint servers, which could have serious implications for organizations relying on this platform. CISA's alert highlights that this vulnerability allows malicious actors to gain unauthenticated access to systems, thereby enabling them to fully exploit SharePoint content. This includes accessing sensitive file systems, internal configurations, and even executing code over the network. Such a breach could lead to severe data compromises, making it crucial for organizations to take immediate action. The FBI has acknowledged the situation, stating, "We are aware of the matter," and emphasized their collaboration with both federal partners and the private sector to address the issue effectively. In a blog post released by Microsoft, the company confirmed that they are aware of ongoing attacks targeting on-premises SharePoint server customers. These attacks exploit vulnerabilities that were only partially addressed in the recent July security update. Importantly, Microsoft clarified that these vulnerabilities affect only on-premises SharePoint servers, assuring users that SharePoint Online within Microsoft 365 remains unaffected. A spokesperson for Microsoft mentioned that the company is actively coordinating with CISA, the Department of Defense Cyber Defense Command, and other key cybersecurity partners globally to manage the response to this threat. Chris Butera, the acting executive assistant director for cybersecurity at CISA, stated, "While the scope and impact continue to be assessed, the new Common Vulnerabilities and Exposure CVE 2025-53770 is a variant of the existing vulnerability CVE 2025-49706 and poses a risk to organizations with on-premise SharePoint servers." This indicates that the threat landscape is evolving and organizations must remain vigilant. CISA was alerted to the exploitation by a trusted partner, prompting immediate outreach to Microsoft for a swift response. Microsoft is working diligently to notify potentially affected entities and provide guidance on recommended mitigations. In a concerning report from Eye Security, a cybersecurity firm, it was revealed that they have identified large-scale exploitation of this new vulnerability on SharePoint servers worldwide. They reported discovering numerous systems that have already been compromised, with the breaches likely commencing on the evening of July 18. Additionally, a post by Palo Alto Networks Unit 42, a threat research and security consulting firm, pointed out that these vulnerabilities allow unauthenticated attackers to access restricted functionalities, further emphasizing the urgency of addressing this issue. This situation raises critical questions: how prepared are organizations to defend against such vulnerabilities? What measures are in place to protect sensitive data? As we navigate this evolving threat landscape, it's essential for organizations to engage in proactive discussions about cybersecurity strategies. We invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Do you believe enough is being done to safeguard against these types of vulnerabilities? Microsoft SharePoint vulnerability threatens global businesses, security alert. Cybersecurity crisis unfolds as Microsoft SharePoint comes under global attack. Imagine a vulnerability so severe that it allows hackers to breach the defenses of organizations worldwide, from government agencies to multinational corporations. That's precisely the alarming reality Microsoft is facing right now with its SharePoint collaboration platform. But here's where the story gets even more controversial. The attack is actively ongoing, and the implications could be far-reaching. On Sunday, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, issued a stark warning about a critical flaw in Microsoft's SharePoint servers, which has been exploited in real time by malicious actors. This vulnerability allows unauthorized individuals to gain complete, unauthenticated access to SharePoint content, meaning they can see, copy, or manipulate files without any user login. Such a breach opens the door to executing malicious code remotely, essentially turning the platform into a tool for cybercriminals. While the full scope of this attack is still being assessed, initial observations suggest that the damage could be extensive. Security researchers from firms like Palo Alto Networks assert that thousands of organizations across the globe have already been impacted, highlighting the widespread nature of this security crisis. They emphasize that these exploits are no longer theoretical. They are actively occurring in live environments and pose a serious threat to data security. In response, Microsoft promptly released security patches late Sunday for 2 versions of SharePoint, helping to fix the vulnerability. However, a 2016 version of SharePoint remains unpatched, leaving its users vulnerable, and Microsoft is actively working on developing a fix for that version. The company's limited comments, beyond their official blog post, leave many questions unanswered about the scale of the breach and ongoing risks. Most importantly, the vulnerability impacts only on-premises SharePoint servers, not the cloud-based versions like Microsoft 365. But this distinction might be misleading. As researchers from Eye Security point out, even patched servers can be exploited further. Hackers can impersonate users or services, maintaining access long after initial patching, which increases the threat of persistent data theft and system compromise. Because SharePoint often connects with other critical Microsoft services such as Outlook and Teams, a breach here could quickly escalate, leading to significant data leaks, stolen passwords, and profound system infiltration. As Michael Sikorsky of Palo Alto Networks' Unit 42 warns, cybercriminals are leveraging this vulnerability to establish footholds and deploy backdoors, aiming for long-term access. Adding another layer of complexity, the attack's ripple effects are not limited to digital systems. For example, Alaska Airlines briefly suspended operations on Sunday morning due to an unrelated IT outage, which lasted about 3 hours. While it remains unconfirmed whether this outage was linked to the SharePoint breach, it underscores how intertwined digital vulnerabilities and operational disruptions have become. This incident raises essential questions about cybersecurity preparedness and the risks of relying on complex, interconnected digital infrastructure. As organizations scramble to patch vulnerabilities and safeguard data, many are left wondering, could this incident be just the tip of the iceberg? The debate around cybersecurity resilience, patch management, and organizational vigilance continues to intensify. Are we truly prepared for the growing sophistication of cyber threats, or are we playing a high-stakes game of digital whack-a-mole? Share your thoughts. This could be a pivotal moment for digital security awareness.